Rob King for 4 News Now. Today is a weather alert day for the inland Northwest. So, to help me digest and dissect what's going on, I've brought in our own Matt Gray. Matt, thanks for joining me.
All right. Thanks, Rob.
Now, you are a meteorologist, correct?
Correct.
What kind of training comes with that?
Oh, boy. Lots of math and sleepless nights in college.
Oof, I got a communications degree, so I wouldn't have to do math.
Oh, yeah. However many times you got to take your calculus classes, you get there eventually.
Certainly. So why don't we just start with today? People will have, if they had to go outside, they will have been outside already. So what should we expect driving home tonight and looking into tomorrow?
Well, unfortunately, it's going to get worse before it gets better. That's my kind of main message to all of you watching and listening. A lot of our areas have not gotten out of the single digits today, or if they have, we've just popped up into the low teens here for the last couple of hours. As the sun sets, a lot of places seeing clear skies. When you have clear skies, your temperatures drop like a rock. And so I expect us, as we head into kind of the middle of the evening, we're already going to be seeing some places getting below zero, and we're going to be staying there for an extended period. So, it's not only just about how cold it is, but it's also about how long of an exposure that level of cold is. So the longer it is, you're in those extreme cold temperatures, everything gets strained. Whether that's your car, whether that's your home heater system, everything is put under so much extra strain at these cold temperatures, and things start breaking. And I'm certainly that's what we're going to see as we head into tonight and into tomorrow.
Yeah, I guess the juxtaposition of today was weird because it was so sunny for the first time in a couple of days, and you wake up and you're thinking, awesome, it's going to be a beautiful day. And then you step outside. How does that work with having it being sunny for the first time in quite a while, but being record cold?
Yeah. So with these types of Arctic air masses that come down, usually they are very, very dry. And so maybe at the very beginning, when you're having the warmer air kind of butting up against the cooler air, that warm air will rise up over it, and so you'll get that cloud cover, right? As you get deeper into that Arctic air, as it pushes further south, basically the amount of moisture that it's able to kind of hang out with it, or able to come along with it, basically drops down to nothing. So it is extremely, extremely dry air. And that really lends itself to kind of these clear nights. And then it becomes kind of a factor of wind. And where if you have less wind, your temperatures often drop to very low levels, especially with all the snow we have on the ground. So we're reflecting most of the sunlight back out that we're getting today. So it's not really helping all that much. So we have that potential tonight as well. It's one of the reasons why we're talking about maybe the coldest night we've had around here since about 2011 or so. The way things are going.
Oh, that's not what people want to hear, but
No, it's not.
do think it's supposed to get better going into at least Christmas, right?
Yeah, so it is going to get better. There will be some challenges along with that, but tonight is going to be the coldest night. And basically what we're thinking at this point is we're going to see some areas get into that kind of -10 to -15 range for tonight. Yeah. And wind chill likely going to drop into that -20 range. So when you get down where you're talking about wind chills that are 20, 30 below zero, places like Sandpoint, getting up to the northern panhandle, getting up to like Pend Oreille County, Newport area, we're talking about chances for 30 below wind chill in the morning. So you get into that range and you start to get into kind of frostbite times of 30 to 15 minutes.
Oof, that's
So
brutal.
it becomes a really, really serious issue. And it can be kind of sneaky. It'll sneak up on you, kind of the danger of it, because maybe you're going to just get something done outside the house, or you're going to walk up the car, and it's very easy to just be like, I'm going to run out really quick. Maybe I don't put my gloves on.
Yeah. I think fortunately a lot of kids are going to be out of school this week, but people are still going to be traveling. So as far as hitting on the major highways, how are we looking in this weather?
So the major highways, I think, will be okay. kind of some of the smaller highways. We've seen this today, actually, over around Mansfield and the Waterville Plateau areas. We've seen those winds have really started to have some blowing and drifting snow. On the West Plains and the Palouse tomorrow morning, I'd be a little bit concerned about that. We might see some drifts over the roads. So that's always an issue. And really, just because it's been so cold, I think, I'm sure this was talked about yesterday, but, the de-icer doesn't really work anymore at these temperatures. So it's all been switched over to sand on the roads. And I had to tell you, just with, I only have a 5-minute drive to work, but there was a lot more slipping and sliding just here around town than there was, with these warmer temperatures where all the arterials would be de-iced and you wouldn't have a problem at all.
Could you explain the difference to me of the de-icer versus using the sand?
I think a story on this when I worked in Montana a long time ago.
Also seeing record cold Montana if you're heading that part of the country.
Oh, I don't even comprehend what's going on there. They're talking about 70 below wind chills, and I got used to really crazy numbers when I worked over there. Some of this stuff is kind of blowing it out of the water, which just shows you how nuts this whole thing is. And I mean, we're talking about maybe coldest night in about 12 years. So
wow.
Yeah.
And when can we expect a reprieve?
So the reprieve is going to come fairly quickly.
Oh, good.
It is still going to be it's going to be a cold Thursday. We're going to struggle to get out of the single digits above zero. We are going to warm up a little bit as we head into Friday. It's going to feel cold, but it's not going to be crazy, crazy cold. We'll likely get up into the teens. Maybe we touch 20 degrees very briefly. We'll start to see some snow as well. What comes after that is both going to be welcome, and there's also going to be some issues along with it. And so this is going to be kind of the next phase of the forecast that we're going to start talking about a lot more often the next couple of days. Is the next storm that's coming in, or the next series of storms coming in, are going to be very warm. And so we're going to transition from snow to very warm and rainy. There's two things that have the potential to happen here. Number one, freezing rain. In fact, over on the west side, so if you have family travel plans, or maybe people are coming over from Portland or Seattle, it's likely Thursday night and Friday morning, they may end up with a pretty significant ice storm. So that's going to be a total mess. That includes airport problems as well. So that's going to be something that we're going to have to monitor pretty closely here as we go into tomorrow and, all the way really up until Christmas Day, because there's going to be after effects of that, power outages, things of that nature. So it's not looking very good over there. We also will have the opportunity for some freezing rain here in the inland Northwest as well, as that warmer air pushes in. So that would be Friday night and through your day on Christmas Eve as well, that we might see a little bit of freezing rain that's mixed in with the snow before we flip over to rain entirely. So that's kind of the next part of the forecast. Really, today is probably the best travel day, and we're going to be not the best really all the way up until Christmas after this, with the snow and the rain and all the other stuff.
Is this seasonal to have the warm rain, the cold snow? Is this typical for this early in winter?
It happens, but the level of extreme is a little bit more. The extreme cold that we're seeing right now, and the fact that we're seeing this pattern change happen so suddenly, and just because of the scale of the temperatures we're seeing, getting up into, for example, the 40s after Christmas for highs, it is going to be very dramatic. And that's kind of the part that's after the freezing rain as well, is lots of melting snow, and we may end up with some flooding issues that we have to watch. But that's a long way down the road, but just kind of some heads up of some things that we're going to be watching here.
Absolutely. Matt, is there anything else that you want to add that you think people should know?
I mean, if you don't have to go outside in the morning, don't. I mean, that's really the biggest thing. It's not very often that we have to talk about things that are very, very serious, but temperatures and the wind chill factor that we're going to see in the morning is extremely dangerous. And you've got to make sure that basically you got to cover yourself as much as possible if you do have to go out. And if you don't, hey, say, hey, boss, I'm staying in for the morning. I'll come in about 10, 11 o'clock, and
Yeah, try to start your holiday early.
Yeah, or try to start your holiday early as well, because yeah, there's no sense in going out in this weather like this unless you absolutely have to.
Got it. Well, Matt, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. We're going to try to do more of these live streams as we have these extreme weather events, so that way we can all be informed, myself included. So, Matt, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
All right, thanks, Rob.
Yep, talk to you later. Bye-bye. And there you have it. That was our own Matt Gray. I want to thank him for joining me and thank all the meteorologists I've spoken with, our weather people, these last couple of days. And we will have the latest weather for you in the 4 News Now newscast beginning at 5 p.m., as well as the 4 News Now weather app. Give that a download for the best and latest local temperatures. But for now, live in the digital studio, Rob King, 4 News Now.